Okay, good. All right. So, well, welcome to our very first Stronger Together Fitness Project team call. I'm super excited. This is something that I've wanted to do for a while because I really love the calls that Becca does on Thursday nights, and she does a great job. But her team is really large and it's growing, and it's a great team. You can learn a lot from the ladies in that team, so I encourage you to participate in her group. But I thought it would just be so much fun to have our own calls and get to know each other as coaches and just really build community together. And then also, because I know you guys a little bit better and I'm interacting one-on-one with you guys a little more, I can tailor my trainings for our team based on what you guys are really going through and what you're struggling with and what you might want a little more training on. So it's just great all around for us to build community and continue our trainings and improving as coaches and as a team. So as far as recognition this week, Jessica is not on the call. I wish she was, Savannah's sister, but she has 2 Success Club points this month, and so that's really exciting. And there's still time in the month to try and hit Success Club 5 if that's something that you have as a goal for yourself. Really, I find that a lot of times I spend a lot of the month building value and reaching out to people and building relationships with people, and then at the end of the month is when I reap all of the benefits. So even if you're not at Success Club yet, if you've been adding value all month, I would encourage you to just be really bold and in a kind way and reach out to people and get outside of your comfort zone, and you can definitely reach your goal. Sorry. Christy, do you mind me just for thanks. All right. So definitely there's plenty of time left in the month to hit your goals. I haven't hit my goals yet, so I'm hustling just like the rest of you guys, and it's actually kind of fun. It's kind of thrilling to set a goal and try to work towards it. All right, so I'm going to screen share right now because I have some slides for us. Can you guys see the slides? Can I go like this? Okay. So what I wanted to talk to you guys today about is the key ingredients to making a great coach. And I chose this title for a reason because just like when you're baking something, like especially cakes and cookies, if you leave out even just one ingredient, it really affects the whole outcome of what you're trying to do. And so a lot of times we tend to be good at certain aspects of coaching and not so good at other aspects. But if we are neglecting even just one part of coaching, it can really cause the whole thing to just flop. So I wanted to just do a quick overview, and there really aren't a lot of ingredients, but they're key ingredients. So we really need to make sure that they're at least on our radar screen, that we're at least aware of them, because especially a lot of you who are newer, it might not be so obvious what the key ingredients are. So I wanted to make sure that I could cover them for you guys this morning. Before we start though, I wanted to do this, and it might seem a little weird, but I wanted to do this thing called affirmation. And I want to start every single call doing affirmations because I really think it's helpful to get our minds in the right place to begin receiving this training and this interactions that we're about to receive. So I create this training because I believe in you. I believe in your potential. I believe in your greatness. I believe that you can really impact and affect tons of lives around you, even more than you think you can. And because of that, it makes me excited to pour into you and to give you trainings and to try and inspire you, because you know people and you can affect people that I can't. And my greatest joy is to see people's lives change. And so I believe in you, and I believe in the power that you have. I believe that you have value, and that what you have to share can be so life-changing for other people. And I believe that your limits are what you decide that they are, not what maybe they have been in the past, not what you have fears that might tell you that they're smaller than what they really are, but your limits are what you decide they are. And I believe that our collective energy is power, that as we build off of each other and as we encourage each other, that power is stronger than just if we were all alone trying to figure this out by ourselves. And I believe that our God is greater and his love never ceases. So our identity is not primarily in the fact that we're coaches. Our identity is primarily in the fact that we have a great God and he loves us. And that empowers us to really try and live lives that bring good and love and hope and help to other people. So those are our affirmations for this week. So the first key ingredient for being a great coach is all great coaches have helping people at the core of what they do. So whenever I'm talking with people, whenever I am interacting with them and they want, advice, or maybe they don't even want advice, but I'm going to give it to them anyways, I always try to use phrases like, I really want to help you. How can I support you in your journey? Where do you typically struggle? I'm always coming at people from a position of, I really truly want to help you. And that's why inviting, even though it seemed a little awkward to me at first, has really become no big deal to me, because I see inviting as kindness. So if you had like this magic potion that could help someone in a certain area of their life, and you was just stuck in your back pocket, and you were going along and you were chatting with someone and they were telling you that they needed help in this one particular area, and you have the magic potion in your back pocket, inviting them to try it is kindness, because you've heard where they need help and you feel like you have a really good solution for them. So that's why I really have no problem chatting with friends, chatting with other moms, and asking them how they're doing, really being interested in them. And if I hear them sharing how they're tired all the time, or sharing how they really wish that they could lose a little bit of weight, summer's coming up, or whatever it is, I have tools and I have programs that I know work, because they've worked for me and they've worked for hundreds of women that I've helped. So for me to not invite them to learn more about a challenge group, or to learn more about a challenge pack, or to join my free group, or to join my group that's starting soon, like that's just kindness. That's just me trying to help them. And if they say, no, thank you, I'm really not interested right now, I don't have to take that personally, because they're not saying no to me. They're just not ready at this time. But I've done my part to help them. And at least I can go to bed at peace knowing that I've reached out and that I've done my part and that I've at least offered. And more often than not, people end up coming back around. They may not be ready right away, but as they begin to think about it, and as they begin to, you've already planted that seed in their head that there is this available to them, this group, this community, this support. And as they begin to think about it, they may want to take you up on that offer. But helping people has to be at the core. It can't be about sales. It can't be about numbers. It can't be about quotas, because then you're going to rush past getting to know them, and you're going to rush past listening to them and what they need. And you're not going to be trying to put your energy into helping them. You're going to be trying to put your energy into selling to them. And so that just makes coaching no fun. But when it's all about helping, then it's so much fun. So that's key ingredient number one. Key ingredient number two is show up every day. So I am a stay-at-home mom, obviously, and I'm not going to get fired from my job if I sleep in. I'm like, the kids will come and jump on top of me, but, whatever. But I remember when I had a job outside of the home, and I had like that fire under my butt when the alarm went off. I had to get up and I had to get ready, because I had to be at work at a certain time. There just wasn't an option to just like not show up to work, or show up an hour late, or just, not be true to my word. Like it was my job. I had to be there. So I treat my coaching business as a job. And the good part is I'm the boss. So I get to set the hours that are convenient for me. I get to choose when is the best time according to my kids' schedule, according to my church's schedule, according to my husband's schedule, when my coaching hours are. But once I set those hours, the ones that are just perfect for me, I have to show up during that time, whether I feel like it or not. So even if it's just half an hour every day that you choose during nap time or in the evening instead of watching a TV show, make sure you set your hours that work for you, but then you have to show up, and you have to show up every day, because it's not something that is just going to magically happen without work and effort. And the way that you can really show up, even when you don't feel like it, is if you have a slight edge mentality. And The Slight Edge is a book that I read when I first started coaching. And the premise of the book is that greatness is created one small decision after another. And that the compound effect of all of these positive small decisions ends up bringing massive success. And people become overnight successes after 15 years of doing every day something good for their business or for their health or whatever. So knowing that the small decisions are actually very powerful helps me to say yes, even when I don't feel like it, because I know that just 30 minutes of working out or just 30 minutes of working on my business, it's not going to make or break me. It's easy to say no to and it's easy to say yes to. But if I do it every single day, at the end of a year, I will be so healthy. At the end of the year, my business will be so booming. But if I only, it's like brushing your teeth. You can't brush your teeth for an hour and a half on Saturday and then not brush your teeth the whole rest of the week. You have to do a little bit every day, and that's where the power is. So it's a great book, guys, The Slight Edge. I would highly, highly recommend it. I think you can listen to it on YouTube for free if you like audio books. You can also pick it up at the library, and I think on Kindle it's like maybe $6 or $7 if you like to read it. I highly recommend that. And then in order to show up for your business every day, you need to actually believe in the business. So I wouldn't wake up at 5 in the morning and invest an hour into my business if I didn't believe that it was actually worth it. So how do you grow your belief in the business? Well, for me, a big part of that was listening to the National Wake Up Call. And that is something that you can either listen to live, you can call in. There's a number, I don't have it right now, but it's in the back office. They always post the number. Or what I do is I actually subscribe to Beachbody's podcast on my phone, and it automatically downloads every week the National Wake Up Call. And I listen to it while I'm driving around with my kids. And there's always a coach on the call who shares their story. And they share where they started, and then obviously you hear where they're at now, which is making incredible amounts of money and helping tons of people and building huge teams. And it just helps me to believe in the business when I hear coach after coach after coach every single week, a different coach. It's not just one or two who have made it. And when I hear where they came from, and I can relate to that, and I can relate to not knowing anything about the business on day one, and I can relate to not knowing how to network or not feeling comfortable in myself and confident in myself, and I can hear how they've grown as a person and how they've grown their business. And it helps me to believe in the business. And when I believe in the business, I want to work at it every single day. If I don't believe that this is going to work, then yeah, I'm not going to show up. So it's very important that you find a way, dig into other coaches, dig into their stories. Ask Becca about her story. Ask me about my story. Right now, I make enough to pay our mortgage every single month. That's crazy. And that is so small compared to other coaches. But for me, it's when I first started, I thought that would never happen. It was I barely even wanted to write it down. I was so afraid to even put it out there that could be possible. So as you dig into other coaches' stories, it helps you believe in the business and it helps you show up every single day. All right, the next key ingredient for being a great coach is you need to build trust with people. The way that you do that, it's really not that hard. The way that you do that is you need to add value to them and share helpful things with them. You want to share your story so that they know you're a real person and they can get to know you. And you have to be consistent. And this harkens back to what I just talked about in our last slide about showing up every single day. If you post a few things about the 21-day fix and then you don't post anything on social media for a couple weeks, and then you invite people to join your group, they're not going to be really that connected to you, connected to your story. They're not really going to know what the 21-day fix is or why it's so special or different than just going to the gym. So really consistently sharing your story and consistently encouraging people and adding value to them, it's proving to them that you want to help, and it's proving to them that you're going to stick with them through their journey, because no one's going to trust you to help them lose weight or get healthy if they think you're just going to flake out on them after a couple of days. So it's very important that you build trust, but it's really not very hard. even if you just post one tip every day about how to be healthier. And these are things you can find on Pinterest, or these are things that you can just pick up from your own life. Maybe there's like a water drinking app that you can put on your phone that reminds you to drink water, and you can just share that with people, and that can be really valuable to them and build that trust. We can talk, that can be a whole team call on its own, so we can talk more about that later, but I'm just going to move on for now. So a great coach, they have learned how to expand their reach. And this is super, super important. So all these things that I've been talking about, like helping people be at the core, showing up every single day, building trust with people, none of that actually works unless every day you're expanding your reach to new people. And this is where a lot of my friends don't want to be coaches because they don't feel like they know enough people. Now, the problem with that is that, you know, if you're persistent and if you are genuine on social media and if you're really helpful, more and more people are going to recommend you to their friends. And so it's all about focusing on those first three that will then help expand your reach. If all you're focused on is expanding your reach, but you're not giving anything to anyone, you're not providing any value, you're not being helpful, and you're not showing up every day, like if you don't have a product, which is yourself and your kindness and your helpfulness, then nobody is going to want to, you know, recommend friends to contact you about weight loss or getting healthier. But if you focus on those first three things, then people will start recommending you to others. They will see a difference in you. They will see a genuineness of wanting to help, and they will want to follow you. Some other ways to expand your network is to add new friends on Facebook. Facebook always recommends like people you may know. And I always, you know, if they're in my niche, if they're young moms or, you know, young women, I will add them as a friend, and I'll send them a friend request, and then I'll send them a little message just saying like, I don't know, I saw we had some mutual friends and I really love connecting with other young moms, and, you know, during this season that's a little bit difficult for me, so I would love to just encourage one another if that would be cool with you. And a lot of times, I haven't had anybody say like, no way. So that's one way that I connect with people. Also, there's a website called meetup.com, and there's like a local homeschooling toddlers group in my area. And there's yoga classes, and there's pottery classes, and there's people who love photography. Whatever your interests are, you can join a meetup group and just connect with other people who have similar interests. It doesn't have to just be about fitness, but people who you like being around, people who are similar to you. And most of us are moms, so sometimes it's like a good idea, even just for our own mental sanity, to like get out of the house every once in a while and have an outlet that we can do that's fun. There's also a bunch of groups on Facebook, whether you're like a breastfeeding mom or cloth diapering mom or whatever it is that your interests are, you can find groups on Facebook and start expanding your network that way. And then also Instagram, you know, interacting with people, hashtagging your photos so that other people can find you. And you can also start a blog and pin things to Pinterest. Again, this can be a whole team call on its own, and I'm actually going to be posting this week in our coaches group different trainings that kind of focus on each different niche, like Facebook and blogging and Pinterest. There's in-depth trainings. I don't know if you follow Chalene Johnson, but she has a podcast called The Chalene Show that is incredible. And each podcast, you know, she'll cover something about YouTube or something about Instagram, and there's just so many tips on really simple things. It's more about working smarter than working harder. So like if you're already sharing that water app, you know, tip with your friends on Facebook, you can also share it on Instagram at the same time and hashtag it with hashtags that you've already saved. So you just copy and paste. So it's like, it seems like a lot of work, but once you learn the tips and how to do it, it's just working smarter and getting your message and your desire to help people out in front of more eyes and in front of more people. And that is going to just, I mean, in my current challenge group, really like 100% of the people, I don't know them. They just found me on social media. And that's been a year of me like building up my reach, but it's been so helpful because now I don't have to bother my friends and family. People are finding me who want what I have to offer, and it just makes everything so much easier. So the last thing that great coaches do is they believe in themselves. They believe in their potential. And this is something that's very difficult to do, especially if you've grown up, doubtful of yourself, like I know I have, and putting limits on yourself. And I think we all do in some way, shape, or form, put limits on ourselves and what we can do. But if you believe, even if you just have a little tiny bit of belief that you can help one person, and then once you help that one person, well, maybe I can help two. And then once you help those two people, well, maybe I can help four. And it just grows, but you have to start at least with the belief that you can help one person. And when you're talking to that person, they're going to sense whether you believe you can really help them or whether you're totally doubtful and I don't know if this is going to work and I don't think, that I'm really that great of a coach, but maybe I can help you. Like, you can't, that's not going to work. You can help people because you can care about them and you can send them a text message. Did you do your workout today? How's it going? Where are you struggling? What can I help you with? And even if you don't know the answers, you've got us. You've got a whole team around you to help you with the coaching process. But you're the one who has to care, and you're the one who has to reach out, and you're the one who has to extend that love and that helpfulness. And that's the value of being a coach. That's the value of having a coach. And that you can absolutely do. You just have to believe in yourself. And the sky's the limit, guys. So that's all. That's all for our slides and our call today. I hope that it was helpful to kind of get an idea of, everything that it entails in being a coach. I'm going to post this outline so that you can kind of look at the different slides and the different posts that I was talking about. And maybe there's one that you feel like, well, I'm not really, that strong in this area. Like this might be the one that I would neglect of all the ingredients. And then maybe there are some that you feel like these are easy for me. Like I love helping people. Like that one is a no-brainer. Really take some time and figure out where your strengths and weaknesses are. And then if you would like to set up a one-on-one call with me or a mentorship call, then knowing that information, we can set up strategies to challenge you where you're weak and help you to improve and capitalize on where you're strong and really exploit that and really help push you and give you some I can't think of the word, but I'm thinking really push you to accelerate your growth as a coach by capitalizing on those strengths because you're already strong in that area. So it's not going to take much effort to really give you some great success in that area. So I hope that that's helpful for you guys. If you have any questions,